Ralph and William, you guys look great. How are you guys today?
Great. Good to see you. Thank you.
Congratulations, 6 seasons of Cobra Kai. I have to say, my TV station anchor and good friend Jen is obsessed with this show, and she absolutely loves it. And this question is from her. As an audience, it is a rare gift we've been given to see Daniel and Johnny as adults. So I'm curious, as actors, has this been a gift to you? And what has stepping into these roles taught you about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, it is a gift. It is. We talk about it, just our relationship, how it's grown to levels I would have never imagined, as not only as actors, but as friends, as parents, as dads, as husbands. It's really, I would have never imagined, back then that, jump 40 years and we're going to be best buds and we're going to be back in the skins of these characters and winning over the next generation, what is now 3 to 4 generations of fans. It's really quite unique. I do not take it for granted, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity and to kind of spread a bit of joy, which is what the Karate Kid has done from day one for all of us, that it could bring people together, and it's just been quite spectacular. So there's my answer.
Cool. Yeah, it's been. Yeah. I never would have imagined. I put Johnny down years ago. I mean, there was decades where you couldn't really talk to me about Johnny or the Karate Kid. It was like, that was then, and he was where he was. But there was something in me over the years where I just sensed there were a lot of Cobra Kai fans out there, and the fandom of Karate Kid just kept growing and growing. And along the way, a lot of pop culture references came up. Different guest spots we would do on shows. I did a video, he did a video. And there was something out there from the Karate Kid. It was vibrating back. And there was a little seed of Johnny Lawrence in me that wasn't done yet. So when these guys came with the pitch of the show, I couldn't believe it. When they pitched me the show, I literally felt like one crusty eye of Johnny Lawrence opened up and saw a blurry vision of Allie. And I left, and then we've been pitching myself ever since. And then, of course, then the show took off, and it's just been such a treat and a gift to get to play, a character that was 18 years old, but now he's an adult, and with this many years, in many ways, they're brand new characters, and the Karate Kid in that event is part of their flashback, part of their history, part of their character development. So as an actor, you're playing not the guy that just stepped off the mat, but you're playing a new guy, but is also familiar to the audiences. And when do you get a chance to do that? Never. And so it's been amazing. And then, of course, all the new characters and the storylines, and then the fans were there and are there. And now we're on the global stage at the Saikai Taikai, embracing the world. And it's the Bad News Bears go to Japan, but it's karate.
That's literally a perfect example. Yeah. Well, last quick question for you, and I'm sure it's hard to pinpoint one, but what has been one of the most memorable fan experiences you've experienced because of Cobra Kai?
It's a pause because there's so many
I'm sure
experiences.
I'll just one general one. I get this from men, but one surprised me. I was coaching my son's baseball, and one of the dads came up at the end of the season. And the show came out right after that. Anyway, he just kind of shared some things that he had gone through in his life, and that he was kind of a recluse, mostly staying at home. And but he happened to be a Broadway singer, actor, dancer, and he said the show made him want to pick up the phone and call his friends again, and call his dad again, and made him want to live again, and kind of get out there. And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And it was like, and he was such a nice guy, no idea, and he's a super talented actor, and it's just the way this show penetrates on a human level.
Yep.
And touches people in their real lives, and the way the show's bringing families together to watch it. There's no better reward for what we do than to see how it affects people in a positive way.
Yeah, you hear that all the time. You hear that this is the show that I watch with my dad, my uncle, my aunt, and my grandmother. I mean, and they all get it. It's where nostalgia meets current day relevance, and everyone is served. It's really quite special.
And then last night we had the preview here in Dallas, and remember that little kid? Yeah. There was this little kid with the microphone. He's like 14 years old, just this wisecracking guy with a microphone.
Yeah.
I think he's everywhere. I think he's doing the Tyson thing. I saw him do an interview there. Anyway, he did a really quick kind of foul mouth for a 14-year-old interview the first time, but then the second time I walk away, he goes, "Hey, Zabka," and he gets a little fighting stance, and he goes for a punch. I had to literally block him. So
he felt a little comfortable on the red carpet.
So comfortable. But I mean, you got these kids out there that think we're really senseis and they can take a shot at us. And,
right.
We're just actors, in wardrobe. So be careful, kids.
Be careful, kids. Well, they are giving me the wrap. Thank you guys so much for your time today. And Jen will be so excited that I got to talk with you guys.
That's awesome.
All right, thank you.
John, Josh, and Hayden. Hi, how are you guys today?
Good morning. How are you?
After all of the seasons and looking back, what has been one of those favorite moments or scenes that has been particularly memorable to film? I'm sure there's so many, but can you pinpoint one? John, can you pinpoint a favorite scene that you were on set for to film?
Oh, I mean, there's so many. I'll start season 1. I mean, it's the very first time when Ralph and Billy were on set together, and they're in the Cobra Kai dojo, and they sort of square off against each other with the strike first, strike hard, no mercy wall behind them. And there was a lot of buildup. We had filmed for a couple days before then, mostly scenes with Billy. And this was the first time they were together. And you just felt the chemistry and the energy in that room, that everyone was like anticipating it. And then they just delivered, and they looked at each other afterwards and they're like, this is going to work.
Yeah, it's just been a rare gift to see them in these roles again, honestly. Josh, what about for you?
I mean, that first season had so many goosebump special moments. Miguel's fight in the cafeteria, which has now become, the iconic moment that he fought back for the first time. I just remember us being on set filming that day, not having all the time in the world, but feeling like it was all coming together. And then, also in that first season, Kreese's arrival at the end of that season was just another moment where the air just kind of came out of the room. And there was a heaviness there because Darth Vader had walked back into this universe and was puffing on that cigar and stepping into the light. And it felt like it was a fully realized season.
Oh, yeah, such a good comparison. Hayden, what about for you?
I think this final season in episode 10, when all hell breaks loose, we had so many fighting. It was on such a big level. Every character, it seems, on our show was in the middle of some sort of physical altercation, and it all comes to a head, and just our stunt and fight choreographers, having to, work on multiple fights at once, all happening on screen. It was, it took a lot of energy and effort, but the end result was amazing.
How have you guys kept the fight choreography so fresh since we've had so many seasons now?
It's a group effort. I mean, it starts in the writer's room with making sure that each fight has its own purpose and own story. But I mean, our stunt team, Ken Bearfield and Don Lee are phenomenal. They're the best at this. They pay attention to every single specific fighter, and they give them all their own unique techniques. And then I'll say our cast is phenomenal. Since season 1, these kids they're not kids anymore, I guess. Many of them are in their 20s, but they've been learning karate. They train all the time. And even Ralph and Billy and Marty and Yuji and Thomas, like all of these actors put in the work. So it's them working with the stunt team and really caring so much about making sure that they're able to deliver on screen.
What is a memorable experience you've had with a fan because of Cobra Kai?
Oh boy, I mean, there's so many. It's hard to pinpoint just one, but they all feel the same warmth to us because it feels like, we're fans. We came to this franchise as fans of the Karate Kid, and it's never worn off. That special idea that we get to carry forward this story and we get to be the keepers of this flame. And when we meet fans who express their love for this universe and, it's emotional, whether it's people who have gone through something in their life and needed the uplifting messages from the show, or people who have become a martial artist because of the influence of the series. Or a kid who's come to this, wide-eyed and is seeing a more, mature type of storytelling than they're used to being provided at their age, and yet still age appropriate. We love all of it because it's an echo of our own fandom for the universe.
That was really beautifully put. They are giving me the wrap. I'm so excited for fans to see this part of the season. I'm still reeling about it, like I said. And it was so much fun to chat with you guys. I really appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
Great speaking with you.
Thanks.